On the pace to be perhaps the biggest money-making film of the year, the 7th installment of the Fast and Furious series, starring the late Paul Walker and Vin Diesel. Furious 7 hit theaters this weekend.
Let's get to work.
Hey, Roman, you freaking out?
No.
Yes, you are.
Can somebody just walk me through what we're supposed to be doing?
Justin, you didn't think it could get any better, huh?
Here we go.
On the edge of your seat there with Tyrese, Vin Diesel, boy, the list goes on. Paul Walker, of course, and Ludacris. And now we've got our own star here, Brian Stelter, live from New York. So what is it, Brian, about this movie that has people so excited? We know, posthumously paying homage to Paul Walker, but there's something else about this flick.
Yeah, you're right. That is one element, but there's so many others that are making this such a success. And frankly, it's even surprising people in Hollywood who knew this was going to be a hit. But as the numbers are coming in this weekend, it's actually outpacing all of their projections. So as the hours go on, it's doing even better than they expected. Look at this chart of all the top movies in April ever. This is opening weekends for big April movies. You see Clash of the Titans in 2010, Fast and the Furious, the 2009 version, Fast 5, the fifth one in 2011. You see Captain America. Up until today, Captain America was the biggest April opening weekend ever. That made about $95 million. Well, Furious 7 is going to make $150 million this weekend. It's going to be way beyond any April movie opening weekend ever. And by the way, it was pacing like 115, 120. Then people started seeing it Thursday night and Friday. The analysts said maybe 130, 140. Now, this afternoon, they're saying 150. Universal is the maker of the movie. They're being cautious. They're saying 149.5 million. But no matter what it ends up being, it's going to be a record.
So this is almost like it were a summer, blockbuster movie season already.
That's what's really striking about it. It's what I'm about to say is ridiculous, Frederica, because it feels like spring barely in most of the country. But in LA, it is already summer. This is the unofficial start of the summer movie season. And that's what Universal was hoping for. This is the kind of movie that people would typically see in May or June or July or August. So by having it come out in April, Hollywood is hoping this is the start of a very good summer box office season. Last year was not so hot. Earnings were down for a lot of the big Hollywood studios. People started to wonder, are people really still willing to go to the movies in the age of Netflix and Amazon?
I remember that conversation.
Well, something like this goes to show there are certain movies, big tentpole franchises, people do go to the movies to see.
And you think about these stars in this series of movies, they don't have to do anything else. I mean, who knew that it would have this kind of longevity? I know they want to do other things, but
number
Vin
7.
Diesel. Yeah, and is that Michelle Rodriguez, right? I mean, she has made a name for herself in this movie series. And I heard her talking about how she never puts on, a dress, during these shows. And she finally got a chance to do that for the red carpet and how fun that was. But, Ludacris, even, Tyrese.
Well, by the way, you're mentioning all of these actors and actresses. Many of them are various minorities. This is not a movie that reflects the America 50 years ago. This is a movie that reflects the America of today. We're also seeing that in television this season. All the biggest hits in primetime network TV are shows that have diverse casts. And Universal was wise with this, bringing on The Rock, for example, keep bringing on and keeping cast members that really have a diverse reflection of the country. I do think, there's interest in Paul Walker and in how they were able to have him in the movie. He's partly computer generated in the movie because of his untimely death.
Isn't his brother in some way? Didn't he have to play a role in kind of the completion of this?
That's right. He filled in because they were still making this movie in 2013 when Paul Walker died. So I'm sure some people are coming out to the theaters to see how they did it, to see how the movie happened. And for some fans, it's been rather emotional to see the movie yesterday and to see him in it. But the fact that this is number 7, the cultural critic in me, Frederica, kind of dislikes all these sequels. We see so many sequels nowadays. But people like them. Box office moviegoers love sequels. That's why we see more of them than ever.
Yeah, I think I've seen the first one. I never followed throughout, but now I gotta see number 7.
Gotta see it.
I'm on board. All right, Brian, thanks so much. Appreciate it. Good to see you.
You too.
Much more in the newsroom right after this.